The real secret to reaching more people as a Christian creator, well, there are 4 principles in the Bible that, well, I think makes a huge, huge difference between your channel and, I guess, getting more people, reaching more people in the Bible. Sorry, I've got to start that again. Reaching more people as a Christian creator. Now, I know it's not all about just trying to get numbers and trying to get people, but Jesus has commissioned us to be fisher of men, fisher of people. And we don't have to save people. We don't have to go out and go, that part is God's. That part is God's and the Holy Spirit. But there is one thing that I think with our Christian YouTube channel as Christian creators, we can learn from the Bible. And if we apply those things, and I think there's 4 things we can apply, and once those are applied, I think we will reach more people. Isn't that what this whole Christian YouTube thing is about for us as Christians? Now, there's also one thing after this that I'm a little bit excited about as well, is that there is something that I have found through lots and lots of research through Christian YouTube channels and others as well, but more so with Christian YouTube channels, that can make a difference. And it will show you if you are applying these biblical principles to your channel, you will grow. And as I said, it will show you if you are applying those principles. So, my name is Craig and this is Morningstar Better Thumbnails. Don't make great thumbnails, just make them better. But that comes with a caveat. Everything is your thumbnail. I mean everything, from titles to thumbnails to the first 30 seconds of your video, all of your video, the last bit of your video, where do you go next? Your channel banner, everything is your thumbnail. So, what are these biblical principles that we can apply to build our audience? I don't know if there's a better word. I mean, tribe, group, friends. If you've got a better, if you've got a better a word for this, because I think audience is a little, I don't know, it's a little bit blasé. It's a little bit boring. Mate, let's say tribe. So these 4 principles, biblical principles, will build an audience. And like I said, once we know these principles, we can then do this secret thing that I have found that nobody is talking about and apply that to your channel, and you can see whether or not you are making a difference. But, and there's another caveat with this, because you can get a low score or a high score. And okay, if you get a low score, it doesn't mean that you're doing everything wrong. We just got to interpret it correctly. And that's what I'm here to do. So every Wednesday nights, we're going to have a Christian creator community. Wednesday night lives. Now, I'm still not quite sure of a good name for that, but maybe you can come up with a better name. But we'll just go with Wednesday night lives, Christian creator. I was going to say chat. Maybe it's a chat. Let's see. Okay. The 4 biblical principles. And you're thinking, just get on with it. Okay. Now, this first one, you're probably thinking, of course. But throughout the Bible, through the whole Bible, there is one Or no, there's two principles, but that's number 2. But the first one is love God with everything that you have. Mind, body, soul, your YouTube channel. Love God with everything. What that means for you, that is up to you and God. But love God with everything, every being in your being. That's number 1. Okay. Number 2, and this is where your Christian YouTube channel comes into it. Love others as you would yourself. Now that you're thinking, okay, but that's fine. But where does that come into your Christian YouTube channel? Because if we are not, like, it's heart to God and a hand to your Christian YouTube channel, man, person, friend. And that is like, what are you doing for them? What am I doing for you? I mean, for me, I want to grow a Christian creator community where we can grow together. I mean, I've only started this channel for three months or so, but I've got another channel that's been around for 4 years, nearly 100 videos, 181 subscribers. It doesn't sound that great, but I have found every mistake under the sun that I can now apply to this channel. And I will even say, now if I've got it here, let's just have a look here. No, that's not the one. Here. This here is this channel. I thought I was applying these biblical standards, principles, or whatever, but it isn't till this point here that I actually started applying it. And look at the difference. I mean, and you might say, oh yeah, there's a lot of shorts here, but just have a look at this. If I go through to lifetime, so it's like 26th of February, it goes through all of these. These are shorts, these are longs, and these are shorts. And here is where I applied that principle. Love others as you would yourself. This makes a huge difference. And let's just go back to this. So, who is your audience? What does your audience want? What do they need? You know, there's so many times that in my other channel, I would just go, well, I think this, and then I'll put it out. I'll think that, and I'll put it out. And the problem here is, if I can just, where is it? Here. And I said this last week, that, and let me just make this a bit bigger. So I said this last week. If I put out a video, there's one there. If I put out another video, another video, another video, another video, they're all lots of different videos, but are they loving others, like loving your audience, giving your audience something? If you give them something, they'll watch another one. They'll watch another one and another one, and it's over and over again. But if you're putting out videos over here and over here, and this one is different, even if it's a different way of expressing it, like I would have a sit down talking as well as having a full production with me putting myself into movies and the whole thing. And people would be subscribing to the talking one, but then they wouldn't necessarily like the full production, and vice versa. So it's really tapping into your audience. So love God and love others. So what is the third one? Oh, let's get rid of that. The third one is what the Gospels teach us. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty and I've forgotten the word now, but what do they teach us? If we just step back a little bit, all the Gospels, the four Gospels, are different for one very big reason. They approach a different audience. Now think about this. Like Mark, that was more for the Jewish people. So it didn't need to go through the rich history. It just needed to explain, okay, here's all the stuff. Here's what Jesus is fulfilling right now. Then we have Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I'm probably getting all this the wrong way around. But each one is giving to a different audience. And so each one is speaking out loud to a different audience. So is your channel speaking to a specific audience, which goes back into loving others as you would yourself, which then goes back into love God with everything you have. So who is your audience? Do you really even know your audience? And I think sometimes if we're just putting stuff out there that we think is going to land somewhere, I mean, well, at the end of the day, it's like fishing. If you said to me, let's go fishing, and I came and we said, all right, and I said, oh, let's just go this afternoon. And we went, and I had my cheap fishing rod and just like a kit that went with it because it was the cheapest thing I could find. And I just gave it a go and I just fished or whatever. That's very different to when a professional fisherman comes along. And I mean, I have a friend that back in the 90s we went fishing. I had my cheap gear and whatever was available at the time. He came along and we were going to go fishing off some rocks. He came with a rod that couldn't be inside the car, so it had to be outside the car, strapped to the roof, because it was a huge beach fishing line. And he had different bait to me, and he just knew his stuff. And that is the biggest thing. I mean, at the end of the day, are we not fishing? And if we are, because we are fisher of men, as Jesus has asked us to be, required us to be, and loving others as yourself is getting into the heart of those people and finding out, like with fishing, I could go out to the ocean and go, right, I'm going to catch some fish. But a real fisherman goes, I am going to catch a trevally. I'm going to catch insert a really cool fishing name there. And then they go about finding the bait, the right kind of hooks, the right kind of fishing rod, the right kind of time of day. They check the weather. They check all the tides and the moon and everything, and they get it down to an nth degree because they know they want to catch a trevally. That's what they're going to get. And like if you go to the ocean and you say you're going to catch some trout, you're in the wrong place. But if you want to catch some trout, you go to where the trout is. You know what I'm saying? Okay, enough said. The fourth one is with the parables. And with the parables, I want to remind you that the parables are not for robots. They are for real people. And all of these things, you could say they're all the same principle, but I want to separate them because I think if we are doing our channel for people, so let's do it for people. I mean, when it comes down to it, we kind of go, oh yeah, the algorithm needs this and YouTube algorithm needs that. But at the end of the day, we just want to reach people. So get your titles to reach your audience, not anybody else's. And this is where you don't have to be great. Just better helps, because we try and capture everything. We try and be too great. We try and be too out there, too controversial. And at the end of the day, we just need to tap into what our audience wants and nothing else. And that's why, let's have a look here again. If I can get it. That's why. That's what happened there. I tapped in to my audience, to you, to give you something. I don't want to give anybody else something. That's just out there. And also, if I can just do that. And also, I see too many times, and I've done this myself, we think we have a biblical channel or biblical Bible study channel, and that's enough. But are we actually approaching an audience? Are we talking to an audience? Or are we just trying to give ourselves something, which is fine? But if you want to get into the audience themselves, then again, we need to make sure we're not talking to robots. We are talking to people. And when it comes to Bible channels, biblical channels, Bible study channels, be about that. But make sure you are approaching one audience and do that for them. I mean, I saw another one, I can't even remember the name now, but it was Coffee and Bible Chat, I think. And when I opened it, I had a look at it, sorry. I think it was two teenage girls and a mum, and they were showing, it was Bible studies, but it was also life skills for teenage girls. And I thought, that is great. That is approaching one audience. They had 300,000 subscribers. That is fantastic. But they are specific to that one audience. They're not for anybody else. They're not for me. They're not for you. Well, maybe for you, but they're not for anyone but their audience. And their audience is loving it. So I told you that I was going to give you a way to find out if you're actually tapping into your audience. So let's have a look at that. Now, if I go into, okay, this is my other channel. I'm not going to say old channel because I'm going to get back into it, but I haven't quite worked out who the audience is for this channel. Not yet. I'm going to hold off until I know who the channel is, but go to your channel or go to another channel's main page and you'll see up here, or if you can see it here, CSV export. Click on that. Excuse me. And then it says export up to 10 videos. Now this is the free version. If you pay for it, you'll get a lot more. You probably get 100 of your last ones. So these are all your so this is the free version. So it's the last 10 videos that I put up. And if you do yours, the last 10 videos that you did up. So, and now we download CSV, which is just an Excel spreadsheet. Then we just save it somewhere. Who cares where it is, as long as you know where it is. And down the bottom here, we just click on it and open it. Now, this is where the magic starts. Well, magic, I don't want to say magic, but now, can you see? No, you can't. Why can't you see that? Okay, well, we need to, let's do that. Oh, yeah, okay. Let's do, there we go. All right. These two things here, let me just make this a little bit bigger so you can see. So there's two things here, vidIQ score and views. Now, as you can see with this channel, I haven't got many views, but it's okay because I don't know who the audience is, and neither does YouTube. This is just training YouTube for your audience, if that makes sense. So my last one, which I thought was a good one, it was well edited, it was music and everything, I got a 15 out of 100. Now that's not great, but I've got to say the numbers here have been better. Like when I checked this originally, I was getting 9s and 11s. I'm getting 17s and 15s. So maybe I am starting to get that audience, but it's still got a long way to go. And if you are getting a low score, don't worry too much, especially if you're in the beginning, because you're still growing the channel and you're still going to have low numbers, even if you are doing the right thing, but then it grows over time. Okay. But also, if I go through, say this one here, which is a low score, see what my my title, is here. Why your New Year's resolution not to sin isn't working. I mean, maybe for the right audience, but as a biblical myth-busting channel, it's not really tapping into my audience, and I can see that. This one here is a bit more, this one definitely is. And my God, why has Jesus been forsaken on the cross? Now that title is good, but I think I could probably change that title to say the same thing, but to tap into my audience more. But I don't know who the audience is, so that really makes it hard. So, but titles make a huge difference. This is why thumbnails are everything. Because, and let me show you something here. If you haven't already seen it, no, let's go home and analyze data. So I've just got the vidIQ score and the views themselves, and I'm making a chart. Why did I break my voice? Okay, insert chart. All right, let's have a look at this chart. Now, if I just make it a little, let's make it a little bit easier to see. Now, just have a look at this chart. There are so this is views and this is vidIQ score down here. Now, I can get that up there. Oops, come on. Hello. Here we go. Notice with vidIQ score here, down the bottom, I'm getting low vidIQ score. That was the 9. So I get low score. But if I tap into my audience and I word everything right and make it curious for my audience, that my audience wants to know and see and feel and thinks, no, I want to watch that. I can't not watch it. Then we got a score of 18. I think it was 17, but let's just say 18. But I got way more views. So there's something here. If you're tapping into your audience, the higher your vidIQ score will be, the more you will get views. And the thing is, this is repeatable, but you've got to know your audience first. If you don't know your audience, well, then it's going to be confusing. YouTube algorithm isn't going to know who you're marketing, who you're attracting, who is your audience. It's just trying to get all your ducks in a row, really. And I mean, the unfortunate things, you get all of these things right, but one wrong, it can upset things, but that's okay. We're just learning, we're going through one step at a time, and we're getting there. And that's what this community, I want to have a community with, coming on here Wednesday nights for New York time. Unfortunately, it's Thursday morning for me here in Australia. But I want to help. I want to grow. I want to not just grow me. I mean, I want to grow everybody with me. So are you with me? So remember, love God with everything that you have. That's your part. Love others as you would yourself. That's your part through your YouTube channel and life. Okay, I think I have said enough for today, but I would love you. I would love you to subscribe and join me in this. It's not necessarily a fight, but it is something that the world needs. The world needs your heart, to know your heart to God and be so, if I want to use the word attractive, that they see God and see Him so attractive through you. Then that's where everything is, with not just YouTube, but life and you and God. Love God with all of your mind and with all of your heart and with all of your soul and everything you have, and love others as yourself through you and through your YouTube channel. So take care. We'll see you next week. Go do something awesome for God, and I'll catch you in the next one.